Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this finds you. This is all the Gen 3 info that you'll need to get up and running. So, I'm not going to be going over everything, over each Mon individually like I did for the Gen 2 run, because there's a lot more Pokemon in here. And there are some cross evolutions, I'll go over those. Cross-gen evolutions, I'll go over those. But any of these Megas are where you want to start. Mega Sceptile, Lightning Rod. I wish it had a better ability. Besides the point. Mega Blaziken, really good with Speed Boost, makes it a lot stronger. Mega Swampert, its passive is Drizzle, so that'll set up for Swift Swim, which makes it twice as fast. Mega Gardevoir with Pixelate and Egg Move Boom Burst is insane. Mega Sableye, really bulky. Magic Bounce is not implemented, but a very bulky Dark Ghost type, pretty good to keep in mind. Mega Mawile, Steel Fairy, completely immune to Eternatives until Phase 2. Very strong, huge power, doubles your attack stat, and I think it has an attack stat of like 95 or 100, so it gets like 200 base attack stat, which is insane. Mega Aggron, very bulky, loses the rock type, which I think helps it out a lot, makes it a mono type, and gets the ability filter. So any move that's super effective against you is reduced by 25% damage, very strong. Mega Medicham, once again, pure power, same exact thing as huge power, just named it differently for some reason, who knows? Could maybe use a little speed. So once you get this guy, throw some XP from your team and he'll probably sweep anything in the way. Manectric. Yeah, Mega Manectric is pretty good. I think this guy is actually really underrated for the Gen 3 run. Specifically because it has Intimidate, it's a Mega, it's pure electric type. And it's probably going to be faster than anything your opponent has. Mega Sharpedo, same thing. Sharpedo regularly gets Speed Boost. And I know it works differently in game than it does in PokeRogue. But Speed Boost is pretty good. Mega Sharpedo with Strong Jaw is good. It's just not as great as it can be in-game, but still a solid water type to go on your team. Water Dark as well. Mega Camerupt, Sheer Force, really good. Mega Altaria, very unique in Dragon Fairy. Pixelate makes it really good because it gets Egg Move is Boom Burst, and its passive is Adaptability. So if you use Boom Burst, it's gonna with Pixelate, it is gonna turn into a Fairy type move, and I believe Adaptability will come into play then, so it's going to be an extremely strong move. Mega Banette, kind of middle of the tier, middle of the road really for Megas, but still a very strong Mega. Has 165 physical attack, very strong. Prankster, Destiny Bond, one of the things that this guy does better than anybody else in the game. Mega Absol, Magic Bounce is not implemented, so I probably can't really recommend him unless you just like the design and the stat boost. Mega Glalie, Refrigerate, and I believe this gets Snow Warning, and then Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is really the only move that'll take care of that. Can be used as a physical or a special attacker. Very well rounded in stats. Mega Salamence, extremely broken with Aerialate, and I think this thing also gets Adaptability. Just absolutely busted beyond means, and it's only a 4 cost for Pseudo, so it's not that bad of a cost. Mega Metagross, I've done enough runs with this guy, enough said. Tough Claws, Shift Gear, it's absolutely tank. Velotties get a Megas, and they keep the nice ability in Levitate, which gives them a ground immunity. The cover legends, nothing more needs to be said. If you fought Ivy, you know what they can do. Okay, and just for this, I'm going to kind of go over the guys that I've used or that I think are pretty good. Obviously, the starters are good. The rest of these like six guys here, you don't ever have to really start a run with them. They're very common, and you'll probably run into them at the beginning of your run anyways. Wingull, I feel like, is the generational bird of Gen 3. I don't care. You can say it's Talo. It is not. Wingull is my hero. Pico from Mr. Briny. This is the guy. Sets up rain for your team. And if you're doing a Gen 3 run, you're probably going to want to do Weather Wars. Start a war. Start some rain, bring some fire, bring the sun, one or the other. Mega Gardevoir, pretty much dead in sun. I think Surge gets a little underrated, specifically because when it evolves, it gets Intimidate and Masquerain, turns into a bug flying, so it's got some other weaknesses, but Intimidate is pretty strong. Shroomish, insanely good with Poison, Heal, and Guts. Guts makes it so your physical attacking moves are 1.5 times as strong. Poison Heal makes it so instead of every turn you get taking damage from poison, you instead heal 12%. Don't evolve it into Slaking. One of the best Pokemon in Gen 3. Being a 4 cost, I would normally say is pretty high for a mon that's this bad, but Shedinja is extremely broken when you fuse it with something else to get a new type combination. Pretty good, would recommend. Run of the mill. Can't really bring it because if you evolve it, it turns into a Gen 2 Pokemon, and you cannot bring the guy. These two are absolutely useless. Mega Manectric is good. Went over these guys. Oh, I just realized all 5 of these got Megas. They're all in order like that. Cool. Skitty? I don't like Skitty at all, but with Normalize and Scrappy, it might have some use. That's assuming you have enough candies for the passive. Can't use Nose Pass. Evolves into a Gen 4 mon. These guys are honestly pretty useless. I feel like there's just better bug types. Can't bring Roselia. Evolves into Roserade unless you just want to use Roselia, but I just couldn't recommend. Poison types? As far as poison types go for Gen 3, it's this guy or Seviper, and that's really it. Pretty good. Already went over Mega Sharpedo. Insanely good with Sheer Force as its passive. Run-of-the-mill water type. Not bad, not great. Middle of the road, very tanky. You could probably use this guy, and I've used him before. Numel, Mega Evolution. Torkoal. This is Wingle's counterpart. This is the Sunsetter you want to bring. Very physically defensive, special attacker. Would recommend, for sure, along with Wingle if you want to bring a Weather. Spoink is run-of-the-mill Psychic type, pretty much sucks. Barboach, Water Ground, it wants to be Swampert so bad, but it sucks. These guys are pretty much the same Pokemon, for being honest here. One's a Sun and one is a Moon. They're both Rock Psychic types with Levitate. A lot of Psychic types in this gen got Levitate, huh? The Lotties and Claydol. I don't know why I just realized that. Oh my god. And Trap Pinch for Flygon. Flygon also gets Levitate. That's weird. Zangoose is honestly way too high of a cost at 5. It's pretty bad. Its ability and its passive overlap and counteract each other. Immunity should make it sure so you never get poisoned. Poison Heal makes it just like Shroomish, so if you get poisoned, you heal 12% per turn. But with the ability Immunity, you cannot get poisoned. I don't know why that's a thing. I think its other ability might be Poison Boost, or Toxic Boost, which gives you an extra, makes you a little stronger attack-wise. Just complete oversight, I feel like, on the ability and passive part here. Already went over the Mega there. For a 3 cost, you might as well just run Trico and hope you get the Mega Evolution, if we're being completely honest. Grass Dark is not a great typing. This guy, Flygon, pretty solid. Has Levitate, gets Dragon Dance, is immune to electric type attacks because it is ground type, so I would recommend this guy as well. Spinda, I would recommend only if you have its hidden ability Contrary and its passive Simple. With Superpower, if you use it normally, your attack and your defense lower by 1 stage. With Contrary, it'll just flip it, so it'll raise attack and defense by 1. With Simple, it doubles any attack raises or any stat increases or decreases. So Insane with Contrary and Simple, I would recommend it if you really wanted to do it. Make sure you have the hidden ability and the passive on this guy. Corphish, I think, is also another water type that you probably could consider using. Water Dark shares the same type as Mega Sharpedo, but it has adaptability in its hidden ability and Tough Claws. Has some decent priority, pretty good, and it's Mr. Krabs. Baltoy, never used it, couldn't really recommend it. I think 3 is too high of a cost. Even if Claydol got a Mega, I don't know how they could make it good. This thing is just slow. It doesn't really do anything well. It's kind of just bad. The fossils are okay. I think Anorith is probably the better of the one. I think this guy carried one of my Gen 3 runs. Dragon Dance is pretty good. First impression, Leech Life. Relatively bulky. Its passive is pretty good in Water Absorb, so your water weakness is literally negated and you get some health back. Pretty good. Feebas. This is one of the other water types I would recommend. It stays a water type, a mono water type when it evolves. Very good, bulky, offensive, a little slow, but once you use it, this thing is just solid. It's solid defensive wall, and it's a water type. It looks really cool. Cast Form, this thing sucks. Its ability doesn't even work. The one niche that it has is bad and not implemented. It sucks. Out of curiosity, its passive adaptability. Wow. Another normal type that sucks. I think his hidden ability, which I do not have, is Protean, which would make adaptability a lot stronger. And I guess with Dragon Dance, if you have the egg moves, it might be viable. I just feel like 4 is too high of a cost for somebody that's stats kind of suck. Shuppet, already went over Mega Banette, pretty good. Dusknoir, do not bring this guy and evolve him into Dusknoir, or you cannot use him. You can keep him as a Dusclops, but you cannot throw Eviolite on him, so he's kind of useless. Banette, I think, is the better dragon choice. We're going to pretend Love Disc does not exist. Relicanth sucks, if we're being honest. Water, Rock, not a great typing. Pretty weak offensively, not fast. It's strong, but it's probably going to die to whatever move is super effective against it. Clamperl. I've never used these guys, but its passive is Drizzle. So if you're tired of the regular weather setters, you could bring this guy and maybe Shell Smash with Huntail or Gorbis. Spiel, I feel like in a generation with a lot of other water types, just sucks. It's unique and it's water ice type, but I think Lapras just does it better. It'll probably live a hit. You can bring it if you want for its adorable like rolling animation, but that's really it. Do not evolve this thing into Frostlass. Make sure to evolve into Glalie and get the Mega Stone for it. Do not bring this guy, even though I did for my Gen 3 like challenge run, where I had my friends pick Mons that would try to sabotage me. Its passive, it's only usable if you have its passive in 30, so you can Mirror Coat or counter something for full damage. It has a huge HP stat. Already went over Absol. This thing being a 5 cost kind of sucks. I feel like it's a little high. I feel like it should at least be reduced to 4, so it has a minimum of 2 cost. But its ability is not implemented, so I don't even think it would even get much better with its Mega ability, if we're being honest. Chimecho is one of the other guys that is a cross-gen evolution. Sucks. There's better Psychic types in this generation. And you have to evolve it from, what, Gen 5 or Gen 4 or something like that. And it's just not worth it. Tropius sucks. I'm sorry. Banana Neck is just not holding up. He just needs some more potassium or something. He's just bad. A 5 cost sucks. He needs a Mega Evolution or something. Grass Flying is just a weak typing. And I'm saying that as someone who loves grass typing. Already went over this guy. Broken. Oh, okay, not broken. You have to level him up and at least get to like floor 50 or 70 or something like that for no evolve. So, worth it. And then there was all the other legendaries and side legendaries. So I think they're all pretty good. I'll go over them. I don't really like using the Reggies at all. They're just too slow for me. I like strong, fast-hitting Mons. Or if you're defensive, you don't, like, I feel like these are 3 of the worst types to be slow. Steel is a good defensive type, and they have a ton of defense and HP to go with it. But their movesets are just not that great. The egg moves do help them out immensely, so I will say that. They're probably only usable with the egg moves, and out of curiosity, what's your passive? A filter. So yeah, it's going to be pretty much a Mega Aggron on crack. Yours is Snow Warning, so your defense will raise if you have Snow Warning up. Not bad. And you are Sandstream, so your special defense will increase. I take it back, they're only usable with their passives. The Latios are insane. I think Latios is probably the better of the two, just because Soul Heart passive, whenever you KO something, your special attack raises by 1 stat. Really good. Very cool. I love my Latinos. My Latios. Pretty good. Its passive is insanely strong. They have the same egg moves, actually. So, Quiver Dance, Dragon Energy is probably what you're looking for if you're going to rock either of these guys. They both get Megas, insanely strong. You already know the deal. Cover arts. You already know that they're broken. Passive is Turbo Blaze, which I believe is Reshiram or Zekrom's ability, and it's basically Mold Breaker. So if a Mon has 30, you have Turbo Blaze, it's going to nullify your ability. Doesn't matter. I would hate to run into this thing on my Miraidon run with its passive unlocked. This guy, I think it's Rain Dish. So in the rain, you just heal a little extra HP after each turn. But if you're rocking Kyogre, you're probably KOing everything in 1 turn. Don't really need the Rain Dish. I digress. Deoxys. Egg only exclusive. You cannot run into him on the map, which is kind of just good to know that you can only get him out of eggs. You cannot run into him in space, which is, I feel like, the one place you would run into Deoxys. Shout out the Delta episode from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Protean makes it a little more usable. because Psychic is like a strong type as far as like offense, but it's kind of weak defensively, and Protean will help mitigate a little bit of that because it's changing your typing. Red Shiny Jirachi, I'm just showing this guy off one more time. Yeah, really cool. Passive and its ability are insanely strong together. Comatose means you cannot be burned, slept, paralyzed, any status condition. I don't know if Confusion works, but I imagine it would also work against Confusion. And then my Blue Shiny Rayquaza. Ivy, you're not the only one with the Blue Shiny Rayquaza. Suck it. My Rayquaza is cooler and it beat yours, I'm pretty sure. And with that, that's pretty much Gen 3. I will very quickly touch on the Elite Four and the trainer battles. Okay. So for the Elite Four, you have Elite Four Sydney, the Dark type guy, Phoebe, the Ghost, Glacia, the Ice, and then the Dragon type. Just be wary when you fight these guys that a lot of these could be Mega. Salamence could be Mega, Altaria could be Mega, and then the two random in the back. Dragon types are strong, you already know that. Just bring a strong fast fairy type or some X speeds for your fairy type and you will be set and ready to go. Glacia, same thing, Mega Glalie, Mega Abomasnow, don't forget about him. Just because he's not in the Gen 3 doesn't mean he cannot be Mega Evolved. Walrein kind of sucks, you just need a fast fighting type and I think you'll be okay. Frostlass, just bring a fire type, you're going to be alright. Phoebe the Ghost, just bring a Dark. Watch out for Mismagius. It will have Dazzling Gleam most likely. And then watch out for Mega Banette, Mega Sableye. Mega Banette might do that Prankster Destiny Bond shenanigans. Just keep up with that. And then Sydney. This guy's Mons all kind of suck, I'll be honest. Dark type is not that great defensively. And all these guys are pretty slow. So, let's go on to the champions. Yeah. Because this is a unique generation in which I believe it has two champions. Yeah, Kanto has one, Johto has two, that one has three, four, that has two, that one has one. It's one of the only generations that has two champions. I believe Wallace is really the harder of the two because if he's leading off with Pelipper, he's setting up weather. And that Swampert is going to come in a Swift Swim and probably sweep your team. Melodic, also a strong, bulky water type. Ludicolo might have Swift Swim. And even if you resist a water type move in rain, it's going to do a lot more damage than you think it will. Palkia is really strong, and I think it might be able to get that, like, not primal reversion. I'm flubbing on the word right now, and I can't think of it. But that thing also gets another horse form, so be wary of that. I think Steven is the worst champion that's you and the easier, so if you do the Gen 3 run, hope you get this guy. Once again, has Dialga, can get that extra form, so keep that in mind. Armaldo, Cradilli, the fossils of the region. Aggron, I think, could be Mega. I don't know if he's just limited to one Mega or not, like the player, because the player isn't limited to one Mega. I could have a full team of 6. The easier of the two, because a lot of these mons are a lot slower, so most likely you're going to be faster. I would just maybe bring some offensive items for that guy. And then, obviously, the rival fights. But that's pretty much it. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Get out there. Kick some Gen 3 Hoenn butt. And, yeah, best of luck. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more, because I'll have all the rest of the generations out as well. Until next time, take care. Thank you very much. Have a good one.